Boys, back for another FPL wrap up. This time, game week 14 for the Foxes FPL League. And boy, was it a bloody blunder of a week. I tell you right now, there were some results, there were some teams, there were some points, there were some very big disappointments. And we're going to get right into it, start from the beginning, go over some of the results, hit up those top three, hit up those bottom four this week, go over what's coming up with the game week 18, game week 19, some teams that are going to have a good run, some players to bring in. Let's get right into it, lads. So, we start with the blinder of a game that was Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, and boy oh boy did that get everybody's dick racing real early in the fucking week. Man, I for one had Salah as my captain because I've been banging on for weeks now saying Salah is the boy, the captain. Always get captain Salah, always going to return you points. And when I saw him start on that fucking bench, I was fucking shitting bricks, boys. I was in trouble. And then when I seen him lining up to come on the field at like 60 minutes in, 4-0 down, I was like, oh my lord, we're gonna have fucking 2-point captain or something. I'm in big trouble here, boys. And then fucking Salah went bang. Fucking bang. 2 goals, an assist, on fire. Couldn't have asked for a better game week to start off with. Like, brilliant result, brilliant game. Puts us clear at the top of the table. And then for the rest of the week, everything was smooth sailing from there. So, like I said, boys, Salah. Always captain Salah. Alright? Because he will get you points. Especially with the things that are coming up. I'll go over his game weeks and Liverpool's and a few other teams. But I'm telling you, boys, there's some good shit coming up, and he's going to be a safe captain option. If you're unsure as to who to captain or what results are going to go which way, Salah, just stick it on Salah. I'm telling you, you're going to really have 2 choices for these next 4 or 5 game weeks, and it's going to be either, like I said, Salah or De Bruyne. Be safe, better safe than sorry. Unless you're some of those lads down the bottom, those guys start maybe taking a bit of a punt. And I'm going to get to some punts this week because there was a fucking punt that I'm proud of for even thinking of trying to do something like that. But it did not fucking work, I tell you. So, we'll get to that sooner rather than later. Next up we had the Man City Southampton game. And, that was a bit of a disappointing game in terms of what could have been. I watched that game. Man City got an early goal. I was like, this is going to turn into a goal fest. KDB's going to do something. Someone's going to kick on and get some points. But it kind of just petered out from there. And then Mr. Glass himself went down injured. Do we expect anything less? He comes back for 3 weeks, Danny Ings, and fucking does nothing and then gets injured and then goes away again. He's gone for another 6 months. You watch. That guy is just literally Mr. Glass from the movie fucking Glass, because you tackle him anywhere and he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So, lethal boy, but just fucking injury prone. So, does that change anybody's results with Southampton players? Maybe. Che Adams is going to be a bit more of a good option. He's going to be the guy that everybody wants. Your Vestergaards and your Kyle Walker-Peters, they're a good couple of players to have, even McCarthy in goals. So, we'll go over some more in-depth run on teams, but that was a known result. We knew Southampton were probably going to get done by Man City, but I was expecting a little bit more out of Man City, to be honest. We'll go to the next game, and again, talking about expected results. Liverpool beats Crystal Palace, City beats Southampton. Everybody expected Everton to beat the shit out of Arsenal. And sure enough, that's exactly what fucking happened. Arsenal are a shambolic shit show right now, and I'm sticking by my January prediction of Mikel Arteta getting sacked. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's going to happen. He's going to be the guy that gets let go. He's going to be the scapegoat for this problem, and I don't think it's him. I watched a bit of that game, and fuck me, Arsenal are disjointed, useless. Who's making their transfer decisions? Because whoever that fucking person is surely needs to be fired, because Willian hasn't had a shot on goal, I heard, for the whole time he's been at fucking Arsenal. Useless. Pepe, $7,000 fucking million or some shit. He's an expensive motherfucker and does fuck all, to be honest. He's useless. The whole team is just a clusterfuck of shit. David Luiz at the back line is your best defender. when you're relying on David Luiz, you know there's a problem because that guy's gonna fucking break a leg or blow a gasket or get a red card somehow. Because that's what he does. It's David Luiz, man. You seen that hair that he's got? There's too much hair, not enough oxygen to the brain. It's not a hard thing to figure out. Especially when you bandage that shit up, he looks like some fucking Krusty the Clown, Sideshow Bob mishmash. So, but yeah, so Everton getting up again over Arsenal. My boy KD, Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't score a goal, but he did get an assist, I think, for the penalty. So, kind of worked out. He's still got some points. So, you know, other than that, pretty predictable result. On next, we go to the Fulham Newcastle game. Like Callum Wilson scoring another goal. Now, owners of Callum Wilson are gonna want to watch out for him because from what I've written down here, Newcastle's run is potentially the worst run of fixtures coming up. So, is he gonna do much more? Is it time to move him on? It's kind of a player to look out for. Up next was the game that cost fucking everybody money. And I mean everybody. I lost fucking $600. God knows how many other people lost fucking thousands of dollars on this fucking game. Sheffield United versus Brighton. Sheffield go down 10 men, somehow fucking score a goal, ready to win the game. Brighton come back, they fucking score the goal, and then 95th minute clusterfuck, if I've ever seen one. Like a header hits the crossbar from fucking 2 yards out, ricochets into a box of people. Nobody can put a knee on it, a toe on it, a dick on it, fucking nothing on it. And it somehow ricochets out of the fucking goal square and it's a 1-1 draw. Biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Fucking Brighton, just for that result, costing me fucking money, should get fucking relegated. Useless tits. Both of them. Fuck them both off. So, you know, up next was the surprise packet of the round, I reckon. Leicester versus Spurs, 2-0. Leicester getting up. Jamie Vardy doing Jamie Vardy things again, goal and assists. Doing what Jamie Vardy does. Is this it? Is this the Spurs now they're done? You know, they've run their course. Is this the Mourinho exodus where he kind of implodes and everything falls apart and then Kane inevitably will get injured and he'll be out for weeks on end? Is that what's going to happen? Is that what we're seeing right now, boys? Because they've gone from top 2, basically, to 5th in like a week. So, are they going to just keep crashing down the table? Is it? Are we done now? Is it all time to jump off the Kane and Son bandwagon? Is everything falling apart or what? You know, time will tell, but I think their run's not actually terrible. Yeah, they've got a good run coming up, so maybe they can string some more games back together. Maybe they can pull it back and hope, you know, to stay in this title race that they have been proclaimed to be in. But, you know, Leicester doing Leicester things, getting the win, getting the points, but inevitably with Brendan Rodgers in charge, I am not threatened by them at all. As a Liverpool fan, the more points that Spurs drop, the more points that fucking Man City drop, the better. Because realistically, I'm not worried about Manchester United, Leicester City, or even Chelsea. All three of those teams are too flaky, too shit managers to worry about. Mourinho being the exception and a shitty manager, but Mourinho being Mourinho is, like I said, a nuclear bomb. Up next, probably the other game of the round. After the Liverpool 7-0 drubbing, it was Man U versus Leeds 6-2. That game fucking kicked off to a rocket ship start. McTominay scoring, 2 goals in 3 minutes? Like, just gotten absolutely stitched up as well with that penalty. Like, I don't know, if I was McTominay and the only hat-trick I'm ever going to score in a Man U shirt, I'd be taking that penalty of Bruno Fernandes at like 5-1 or something. Like, fuck that guy. This is my penalty. But Fernandes is being nice to fucking Rashford in the Champions League a couple of months back. Now all of a sudden, dude's on a hat trick and he stitches him up. Like, come off of it. Absolutely ridiculous. But still, McTominay getting a double, Fernandes getting a double, Fernandes getting an assist. Out of the players for the week, Fernandes and Salah were your two. They were the guys that, if you had in your team, you're off to a good start for this week. So, but Leeds still scoring goals. So, don't write off Leeds too much. Like, granted, they play open football when Man U like to play counter-attacking football, so they kind of met in the middle and everything worked out perfectly for Man U. But they still scored 2 goals, so they are lethal. There are some goals in them. Unfortunately, it wasn't fucking Bamford, and I moved out Tammy Abraham out of my team for Bamford to bring anything, and that was a smart move, but that turned out to be a fucking dumb decision, didn't it? Could have won this week, but no, fucking idiot. So next up we had the Aston Villa West Brom game. Now we kind of all expected Aston Villa to beat West Brom, but they did it pretty convincingly. Grealish with a double assists. El Ghazi getting 2 goals. So Aston Villa are back to winning ways. Maybe they start to push themselves back up into that kind of top quarter of the table rather than the mid-table that they're kind of sitting at. They've got, from what I've written down here, a pretty bad run coming up. So maybe if you've got a few Aston Villa players in your team, like a Martinez and a Grealish, you might want to look to offload one of them, especially if you've got Martinez in goals. This might be the time to find an alternate keeper because he's going to be under 5 for quite a few weeks. Now, granted, that could yield some big points. Nothing worse than like a Man U rolling up to Aston Villa, bombarding them for 90 minutes, Grealish running down the other end, scoring a 1 goal and 1-0 win, and Martinez gets man of the match for stopping 52 shots at goal. So you got to weigh it up. Do you take the safe keeper and get a 6 points, no worries, or do we gamble on the Martinez in goals, copping 50 shots a game and maybe getting 14 points? So, I'm going to touch on Martinez because someone this week made a fucking ballsy decision on that bloke. So, now, next up was the Burnley Wolves game. Now that, my friends, did not see coming. I did not see Wolves dropping points. It really hurt me. I had a Sace in my team. I was hoping to pick up a clean sheet against Burnley. I thought that was going to go well. Another 6 points in the bag, and fucking Burnley rocking up and just winning a game for once. So, Wolves this season aren't clicking like they did last season. I don't know what's going on. Maybe too many Portuguese players? I don't know. Like maybe the 2 or 3 non-Portuguese players are fucking everything up. Who knows? But yeah, so I did see Fabio Silva though became the youngest Portuguese or youngest Wolves player to score a goal for them. So that's pretty good. Maybe it's both. I don't know. But yeah, he's one to watch. So another one of those Portuguese players in that bloody, I'm just going to call it Portugal team because it's pretty much what it is. Last game of the round was the Chelsea-West Ham game, and unfortunately, West Ham lost. Sorry, Rex. Yeah. At least you're not getting relegated this season, so that's a good start. In saying that, I believe you guys have a very good run coming up, and Chelsea have a very tough run coming up. So this result may help both teams. West Ham get a kick up the arse, heading towards their good run, maybe string 3 or 4 wins together. Chelsea boost a bit of confidence, 3-0 up, take a win there, and then going into a tough run, maybe they can get Tammy Abraham back on the score sheet and fucking teach Timo Werner to score a goal, because god damn that guy misses a sitter, and trust me, I've got a fucking video coming out for that bloke, because some of the shit that he's missed, oh my god, like, it hurts my eyes every time I see him. I see him run on one-on-one with a goalkeeper or a fucking open net, and basically I can guarantee you who's missed that. Like, that's how bad this bloke has been. Sure enough, he scored 4 goals, but he needs 96 chances on goal to get a fucking goal. So, but yeah, so I took out Tammy Abraham out of my team for Bamford, like I mentioned earlier. Bloody Tammy gets 2 goals, so fucking great. Had Pulisic in my team a few weeks back, gets an assist. Everything's just fucking Chelsea. Chelsea are just a clusterfuck. You watch, Ziyech will come back into this team. I said a few weeks back, Ziyech is a guy to watch, because a few games I watched, Ziyech was all over the ball, man. He was killing it. Then he got injured and didn't do fuck all for 3 or 4 weeks. Now you watch, he'll come back from injury soon, and then once he's back, and he'll clean up. He'll get some more points. So keep an eye on old mate Ziyech coming up, alright? When he gets back from injury, that is. Thiago Silva getting another goal. So when it comes to your defenders, Chelsea defenders are looking pretty good. Kurt Zuma and Thiago Silva are like 2 of the highest scoring defenders. I think Zuma's got 4 goals and Silva got like 2 goals this season. So he's played a handful, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So, 2 goals in 9 games for a centre back is not a bad return. So, for the price of him, I think he's only 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 mils. Not a bad little shout there for a little defender. So yeah. Alright, so that's the week's wrapped up. Now, before I go running into the particular teams, I wanted to run over a little captaincy choice. Alright, break down some technicals on the captain decisions that I've been starting to go with. Now, I looked through everybody's teams and everybody's captain decisions, and I'll tell you what, most people captain Dominic Calvert-Lewin this week. Now, if I quickly have a suss at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, came up against Arsenal. Now, granted, Arsenal are not good, but they're still Arsenal. I wasn't expecting Arsenal to get walloped 4-5-6-0 by Everton. So what made you all captain Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Even though I've been saying all along, captain Salah, captain De Bruyne. Like, why? Like, granted, Fernandes had a blinder of a week, and you could have most of you probably had him in your team and could have captained him, but still, Salah. I know he started on the bench. I know he came on at 60 minutes. I know he got super lucky with 2 goals and an assist. But still, outscored almost everybody this week. If not, he did outscore everybody this week. So, like, listen to me, I'm telling you. And I'll break it down for you. The boys that captained Salah this week were myself, Aiden, and Tyler. Now, myself and Aiden both ended up right at the top of the table this week. Tyler, I'm not going to extrapolate on him too much because his team kind of let him down a little bit, and he's kind of tumbling down the table a bit. Maybe the magic's worn off of him, but still, he listened and captained Salah, and the reason he captained Salah kept him out of the bottom 4. So, there was Mark and Brett, they captained KDB. Now, granted, he only got 5 points and returned a double, but still he returned something. I thought he was going to kick on and get a little bit more, and he inevitably will. We know KDB's quality, so he's not going to not score points, and he's still scoring points. He's just scoring an unassist or something like that. Like, he scored, I think it was 4 points the week before. He's gone 5, 4, 3, 14, and 10 in his last 5 game weeks. So there's points to be had there. I'm telling you, 2 assists, 1 assist. He's got to get it, and he gets the clean sheet points too. So he's a good shout, especially with the run that Man City has coming up, and they've got a fucking good run coming up. Safe captain decision. De Bruyne. If you want to take a little bit more of a punt on things, go with Salah. And I'm telling you, go with Salah, because 13 goals in 14 games and 4 assists, Salah is on fire. This is as good as his 31 goal season, or 33 goal season that he had a few years back. He's on form here, boys. And this is him scoring, 1 hat-trick. What has he got? 1 hat-trick and 2 games where he scored 2. He's just scoring consistently. Almost every game he's scored a goal. So, and he's missed a game too. So remember that. So he's played 13 games and scored 13 goals and 4 assists. So Salah is your guy. And I'm telling you as well, with the Liverpool run coming up, Mane could be on form too, especially after banging in a goal against Crystal Palace. Trust me, that's going to happen more frequently. Don't be surprised if Mane starts climbing the score sheet too. If Liverpool start running through a bunch of teams. I'll go over our fixtures soon, but I wouldn't be surprised if both of those guys start getting a few points. And then the last person that everybody kind of captained was Fernandes, and that was Reece, Sean, and Luke. And all 3 of those guys had very good weeks. So they took the punt and went the other way. They got onto Fernandes' bandwagon. Sure enough, kicked off and had a great week. So, Salah, KDB, Fernandes. They're your 3 kind of guys. Granted, though, Man U do have a very difficult run coming up soon. So, I'm still leaning very heavily to the Salah side. If you want to take a more safe approach, because Salah does have a tendency to just blank every now and then you can go with Man City and go with KDB. He's going to get you 5 to 10 points a week, no worries. Or keep you taking the gambles on people like Fernandez's and like KDB, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's. Take those kind of punts, or I'll get there, but some other crazy fucking punts for the week as well. So, yeah. So that was just one to touch on the captain decision. And I told you, Salah is your boys. Alright, get on him. Alright, so up next, we're going to start from the top, alright? So, coming in at first place this week, boys, with a mammoth result. 98 points. Big old Shawnee fucking Morris. Now, if this boy can make fucking McDonald's burgers as good as he can FPL this week, we'd all get a perfect order. All of us. Because he's gone from, I believe, 3rd on the table? Yeah, 3rd on the table to top, boys. I thought Brett was the boy. I thought he was the golden one. I thought he was the Anakin Skywalker, the fucking chosen one. And he let me down. Fucking let me down. But sure enough, he splurted out a fucking Shawnee Morris, and Shawnee Morris has shot to the top faster than you can fucking blink. Alright? And he'll sure enough come fucking crashing back down because it's Sean. But for this week, he's up the top. Up the top, equal points with bloody, I think it was Maddie at the moment. So let's have a look. We got our points tally here. God, yeah, 862. Maddie had a big fall this week, big fall, which allowed Sean to pretty much double his score and just fucking catapult to 862 points even. So that top 6 is really closing up. There's been some big movements this week, big changes. Everybody's closing that gap. There's less and less points between all of us now. So, you know, it's going to be interesting going into these double game weeks and shit like that, where people are going to have to choose either a consistent team that plays one game a week all the way through, or they're going to bank on this double game week and really try to drill in some players and hope that they perform really well. It's going to be interesting because we're all getting real fucking close now. So people are sliding on up too, like your Marks and your Lukes. They're fucking little snakes, man. Just fucking little snaky boys. You know, being safe, being quiet, not saying much, not doing much, just taking in the advice, listening to what's going on. Like fucking Luke taking a punt on Fernandez and Mark, what was he, KDB captain, and listens, boys. He's listening. They're sliding up the scales, you know. So, but yeah, so fucking Shawnee Morris though, brilliant week, my big boy. So let's go over his team bit by bit. You know, the only people that blanked in his team were, well, there was a few. There was Ings, Sun, Click, and Pickford. So they all had very minimal 1s and 2s, which is fine when you have a whole defence like Thiago Silva, Justin, and Robertson. 14 points, 8 points, and 10 points. That there alone is more than most people get in their midfield or attackers most weeks. That backline just fucking screamed quality this week. You know, Robertson was a very good shout. He's been dangerous for a few weeks now for Liverpool, but with no Trent on the other side, it was all predictable as to where it was coming from. Now Trent's back, everybody's pushing kind of together. So Robertson and Trent are going to be dangerous again. I can see it coming. So maybe Robertson and Trent are a option to bring in your back line, make that big call out we were expecting at the beginning of the season to get some points out of. So, but yeah, he even made his midfield was like a pretty solid midfield too. Like Grealish getting 10 points, Fernandez he captain, like I said, he got 34 points. Vardy with 12 points. Like even Calvert-Lewin got the assist and got 4 points. So that's a pretty solid team. Like a pretty solid team. The only letdown that he had was Dallas was on the bench. His defender, like, could have brought him on for maybe a Click or a Sun or an Ings or something like that. You know, I probably would have brought him on for maybe Click. But fine, it's the only real issue that you had. But now you've got this Ings bloke who is fucking Captain Glass here. So, and with their run of results coming up too, I'd probably look at moving him on. Maybe swapping him, just doing a straight swap for a Che Adams. Maybe going. I look at your team and there's not a lot of money spent in here. Like you've got Vardy and Fernandez and Son. They're 3 decently expensive guys, and Robertson's an expensive defender. But you take out Ings, you could probably bring in someone up front like a Kane, or who else you got in the midfield? Maybe even try to bring in a Salah or a Mane, you know, or a KDB. You know, I'd say one of those 4 guys is a very good shout. Salah, Mane, KDB. You know, you can't go wrong. But yeah, very good week, Sean. Well done. Now, when I fucking come into all my matches, mate, I want it right. I tell you right now, and if it doesn't, I'll find a way to deduct points from you. Alright? Fucking warned. Alright, second this week. We've got a bit of a tie. So, me and Reese Boy. Now, I don't get the props Reese much, ever. He's always down the bottom, he's always having a bad time. But this week, Reese, this week is your week, son. West Ham might have fucking lost and fucked up your game, 3-0 down and shit. But fuck me, boy, you did well this week. Now, I don't know what exactly you did. I'm going to look into that now. But whatever it is you fucking did, you did it well. Alright? You did it fucking well. Now, Reese, what do we got here, son? Martinez in goal. Ruben Diaz in the backline scoring 6 and 9. Fernandez scoring 34. Grealish getting 10. Vardy getting 12. Calvert-Lewin getting 4. Look at that, man. That's a pretty solid team. Other than Watkins, Son, Ben Rama, and Creswell and Chilwell not scoring any points. Now, granted, Chilwell was a bit of a unfortunate one. Going down injured and he's out. And that's really going to hinder a lot of people's teams now because I can see that being a bit of an issue. So, but Zuma's on the bench. Maybe not have him third. Like I've told you this before. Look at your bench. Have him the first guy on. I know nobody made a sub this week, but still, he could have come on for 6 points there. That's 6 big points. And even Ben Rama, I don't know why he had Ben Rama on the field. Like, 2 assists, he's not done anything. So I don't know why he started Ben Rama. Maybe taking a punt. Maybe knowing something about West Ham players that I don't know, but Zuma, 6 points, clean sheet, done. So, there's your guy. Like, you tripled... so you doubled up on West Ham players and doubled up on Aston Villa players. Now, like I said, I'll give you a tip of advice. Get rid of Aston Villa players coming up now. I know they've got Crystal Palace this week, but after that, very bad run. So, whether you move Grealish out and get a bit of money, or whether you move out both Grealish and Watkins, or just Watkins, take your pick. Because I think you've actually got, you got Martinez in goal as well. So you've got the triple Aston Villa. That will sink you. Now, I don't want to see you on the bottom anymore. I want to see you climb that fucking ranking, man. So just listen to my advice. Get rid of Aston Villa players and bring in someone else. Doesn't matter who. Anybody's probably going to do better than that. Alright? Maybe listen to me and get a salary. Get a De Bruyne in. And get a Kane in. Get a Son. No, you got a Son. Get a Kane in. Look at it. Get rid of Aston Villa players. It's my advice. A fucking good week, my son. Good fucking week. Go to my team. I had a fucking good week as well. Took a 4-point hit because I had to bring in some players. And it turns out that 4-point hit was fucking dumb. Fucking stupid. Gives me fucking Tourette's. I took out Tammy Abraham and I bought him Patrick Bamford. Now, like I said, the Man U Leeds game was a goal fest, but how the fuck everything went on around Bamford, I don't know. And Tammy, I fucking knew it too. I knew that guy was going to score some fucking points. I knew it. So, I lost out there, boys. It could have been top spot for me. I could have had a blinder of a week bringing in Tammy Abraham, but yep, I made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. But still, my team pretty solid. My backline was a shambles. I gotta fix this. My defense is just falling apart. Chilwell was my only guy getting real points, and now he's fucking dead. Well, Kyle Walker-Peters is getting consistent 2s. I went Messias. He hasn't done anything. I've got to get rid of him. I've got to move my backline around the boys. My backline's a bit shambolic, so I'm looking at that. Don't worry. I see it. I'm working on it. But my midfield. That shit looking good. I went Captain Salah, like I said, shit myself until 60 minutes and then stopped shitting myself when he started banging in goals. Fun. It's 32 points for him. So I brought in Souček from West Ham. Now he might be a good little person to have in. I know he's kind of the holding midfielder, but he has banged in some goals this year. He's 3 goals, 1 assist, so he kind of poses a bit of a threat. Maybe late box runner, corner kicks, shit like that. So West Ham have a very good run coming up, so he might be one to keep your eyes on. Fernandez, 17 points. KDB, 5 points. Grealish, 10 points. My midfield was solid. Other than my backline and Souček and Bamford missing points, that midfield carried me home. Like, brilliant week from the midfield. Then Calvert-Lewin up front, scoring 4 points. Now, like I said, Everton don't have a bad run. They have a pretty good run. They got Man City thrown in there, but I expect Calvert-Lewin to stay in my team. I don't see him going anywhere. I don't see Salah going anywhere. I really don't see Fernandez and KDB going anywhere. So my core team is kind of set. It's just what do I do around them? Who are the differentials? Who are the guys that are going to pop up and score some points for me pretty easily? So But I had a good week, boys. That's 82 points. That I think actually I went up one. No, I went down one. I had a good week and I still fucking went down. So, but it wasn't by much. Like, yeah, I'm even points with Brett now. So it was more everybody around me kind of shuffling. Luke coming up close, Whippet jumping me. But me and Brett now 826 even points. That top, like I said, that top 6 is very solid. So yeah, but a good solid week. I need to back it up with another week. And we'll see us climb up those ranks. But that gap from 1st to 6th is really, really closing. So, but yeah, so that's the top 3 this week, boys. There was a good couple of shouts in there that I haven't had for a while, like Sean, doing well. Reese boy, I don't think I've seen you in the top 3 ever, so I'm fucking proud you're up there, lad. Me having another solid week after I had a pretty shitty week a couple of weeks back. So let's move on to the next section. Alright, so we're on to the losers for the week. Boy, were there some losers. In a week where Sean's scoring 98 points and everybody else up in that top kind of 3 or 4 are scoring 79, 80 points. You're scoring 50 points, you know you're in trouble. And that's where Jackie fucking Bedford comes into it. Now, this motherfucker has gone, I think, 4 weeks now doing crazy shit. Let's see, he went game week 11 free hit. Then he went game week 12 triple captain. Then he went game week 49. Nothing too crazy. He did okay. But then this week, this crazy fuck captained Martinez in goal. Now, I don't know where that came from. That was a fucking left field decision right there, but Jesus Christ. Captain in Martinez, man. The kahunas on him. Like, Jesus. What are you, The Rock? God damn, you're fucking so self-sure. Captain in Martinez, man. Like, that alone should get you out of the bottom fucking 3, but instead it puts you in last place. Sorry, man. Like, it wasn't a good call. It just wasn't a good call. Granted, he got 6 points and doubled it to 12, but still, like, god damn. Now, let's go over your team, though. Like, your team, to me, doesn't look terrible. The guys performed badly this week. You know, Justin, Mings, and Zuma is your backline. 8, 5, and 6. That's a solid defense. With Martinez behind him, the defensive 4 was just really solid. But then you had nothing in the midfield and nothing up front. You know, like, Son 2 points, Jorginho 3, De Bruyne got you 5, Neto got you 2, Watkins got you 2, Bamford got 2, and Calvert-Lewin got 4. So it was just where everybody else's midfield was scoring points, yours just wasn't. Just didn't do anything. Now, I look at this team, and there's no money spent here. There's a shitload of money. There must be a shitload of money in that bank. Now, you gotta be bringing in someone with some cash. Like, I keep saying it, I'm sounding repetitive, but Salah, Fernandez, Kane, like, spend some money in that midfield and that forward line. Get something that's going to score you reliable points. You know, you need these clinch picks. I know you're trying to be a bit differential, score, you know, and score in the off weeks where everybody else is having a bad week. You're trying to be the guy that gets a good week, and that's where the gap opens up. But you still need those, like, just everyday players. You need a De Bruyne, you need a Salah. At this point, you need a Fernandez. They're your 3 kind of must-have team guys. They're going to regularly score you points. So, look at getting him in. Look at getting someone in, because fuck me, you had a bad week. Like, Mendy and Aubameyang subbed out for Justin and Jorginho. You even got lucky. Lucky! Like, Justin came on the field for you. You got fucking lucky. Did you? No, you can't have forgotten. I thought you might have forgotten. But there's no way, because you clicked captain on Martinez, you fucking crazy fuck. Crazy fuck. Like, you was never... You had De Bruyne last week as captain, so you're making changes. I know what you're doing, you're there. So, goddamn, you crazy bastard. Fastest man in the league. And fuck me, he goes from 0 to 100 and then back to 0 real quick. So, goddamn. But yeah, Jack Bedford, bottom of the table for this week, unfortunately. Next up, second to bottom. Now, it's the boy that's been climbing for a few weeks. It was inevitably going to be a fall. And that's Matty Francis. Calming down. He scored as fewer points as he does have in height. So that's a pretty amazing feat to have, boys. Like, you know, so I actually reckon he's slightly scored more points than his height. It's a pretty small guy. But still, let's go over his team. His backline let him down pretty heavily. To be honest, a lot of your team let you down. You know, Pope, Keane, Vestergaard, Son, Ward-Prowse, Bamford, and Kane all blanking. All of them blanking. The only guys getting any points were Mings with a 5, and then Grealish, Fernandes, and Calvert-Lewin getting points. Now, again, you're one of those people that captain like Calvert-Lewin. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from. Like, as I said, they were playing Arsenal. It wasn't going to be a drubbing. You've got Fernandes. You're a Man U supporter. Why didn't you captain Fernandes? I don't get it. I don't understand the logic here. So, he's safe bet for your team. Anyway, for the players that you got there, I would have definitely gone with Fernandes. Like, you know, Kane and Son, you've held on to them through this bad period they've had. Now you can kind of see, you know, other than Son scoring points, Kane's kind of dried up a bit. You know, last 2 weeks have been blanks. They've got a good run coming now, but is it kind of too late? Are they going to be that team that takes 2 weeks to get back together? I don't know. We'll see. They're falling down the table quickly, so they need to get their shit together pretty quick. So, but yeah, so no changes this week, no subs off the bench, so just an all-round unlucky week. And that drops you from first place down to second place, even points with Sean. So you had a bit of a gap last week. You know, you clambered to the top and taken it. Now, yeah, fucked up, basically. There's no way around it. You fucked up. Sean doubled your points, came out of fucking nowhere and it's climbed to the top with you. So, because of that, you know, like I said, you are now only less than 40 points between 6th to 1st. So, it's really closing up that top spot. So, yeah, unlucky, a bad week, but let's see if he bounces back next week, takes some advice and brings him some key players and can turn it around and get back to that top spot he wants. Now, the third to bottom spot is shared this week, both on 55 points, alright? And both by perennial people in the bottom 3. I told you last week, I didn't want to fucking have to talk about used to again, but fucking every week. I gave Blake props through the middle of the week. I made a special video for you, man. Special video. Sit in the middle of some fucking Macca's car park when dudes are walking around scaring the shit out of me like they're gonna rob me and shit. I made a video for you because I said you did well. I gave you fucking props. And this is how you repay me? Like this? God damn. Disappointing. Disappointing. No. And Sam, I thought you knew more about this shit, man. Come on. Me and you spent years talking about soccer. Put it in FPL terms. What am I saying right now? You're like 5th to bottom or something. And you've been there for like forever. Do something. I'm going to put you in the same basket as Blake. Whatever you think of doing, do the opposite. Bring in a red dude if you're thinking about bringing in a blue dude. Alright? Keep it as simple as that. Fucking don't do what you think you're doing, because right now it ain't working. Just ain't working. Alright, let's break down both these teams. I'm starting with Blake because fuck you, make me mad. God damn. So, like, your backline wasn't bad. Martinez, Zuma, Mings, both all scoring points. Unfortunately, Chilwell going down. Rest in peace. You know, like, that's going to be a bit of a problem for people trying to move out Chilwell. The rest of your team just didn't work out too well. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was just not great either. Like, Grealish getting 10 points, De Bruyne getting 5, Wilson getting 9. That was a good shout, Wilson. But now I reckon, like I said, he's going to be one you want to get rid of real quick. And you already made 2 subs this week, like 2 changes this week. So you're only going to be able to move 1 player out. And, you know, you've got Justin on your bench, so maybe you do a straight swap for Chilwell to Justin. Keep Chilwell in your team and get rid of Callum Wilson, because that boy's done. Done, son. There's no way Newcastle are scoring any fucking points against Man City, Liverpool, and then Leicester. They are cooked. Fucking Stevie Bruce, stick him on a fucking rotisserie spike, spin that fat boy around. He's cooked, son. That boy is fucking cooked. Alright, so my advice to you, get rid of Callum Wilson. If I see Callum Wilson in your team next week, regardless how many fucking points you get in your own fucking section again. I tell you, alright, Blake, you understand me? You hear me now? But other than that, you got Calvert-Lewin, captain him. Again, I don't know where that came from. Like, I said to Captain De Bruyne, he didn't fucking listen to me. He would have scored you 10 points versus Calvert-Lewin's 8 points. But still, Captain De Bruyne, next week, I want to see the little C on De Bruyne. And I don't want to see Callum Wilson in your team. Do you want me to spell it to you? Because I can fucking spell it if you really want me to. Alright? Kane up front, unfortunately blanking. You know, you might be alright heading forward now with their fixtures, so you might score a few more points coming forward. So, but yeah, unlucky, bad week. I made a good fucking video for you in the Wednesday and you let me down. Let me down. Disappointed. Get your shit together. Alright? Now, we go to the only other person who disappointed me more than you, Blake, and that's Sam. Your free hit this week? This week? What were you thinking? I said there's some shit going down with game week 18 and 19. It's got to be a bit of a clusterfuck. If you've got some chips, hold on to them. And you blow it on this week? And you get this points? Ay, mamma mia. Ragazzi. Jesus. Like, what did you even change? Like, we brought in... Like, there's a lot of changes here, but they just didn't come off, did they? Just, you know, you got Schmeichel on your bench and Martinez on the field, so you got 2 solid keepers. Like, you spend a lot of money on 2 solid keepers, and you can only play one of them. So, I don't know, maybe look at wildcarding coming up to week 18 and 19 and get rid of one of these keepers and pick a low cheap keeper and a decent keeper. So if that's how you want to play it and you really stick by like Schmeichel or something, then stick by him. But your backline, Dunk 1 point, Chilwell 1 point, Godfrey 2 points. Like, Ming's the only one getting any points. That midfield, at least you had Salah and Grealish in it. Like, at least you had Salah. Like, but again, Captain Dominic Calvert-Lewin, man, you're smarter than this. What's wrong with you, man? Salah, Captain Salah. Okay? Same as I said to Blake, I want to see the little C on Salah. Okay? C on Salah. Get that stuck in your head. What else? Bamford not scoring any points. Son not scoring any points. Neto not scoring any points. Like, Son's going to turn around and do well. Like, Neto has been playing quite well, but Wolves, I think, yeah, their fixtures are shot to pieces, so that's a guy you want to move out pretty quick. So you have this guy on your bench, what, Adriabio, I don't know, Tosin, whatever the fuck. Maybe bring him on. He scored in the last 2 game weeks, like 9.7 points. So they got Southampton next week, so there's going to be another shootout for them. Might get lucky. So sub off Neto, bring on this bloke, put him on the field. Like, I don't think Giroud's going to start now that Tammy's banging in goals. What have we got though? You've made, so you'll only have 1 sub, but I don't see a lot of money spent. You know, other than Salah, Grealish, and Son, that's pretty much it. Calvert-Lewin's pretty cheap. You know, he's 8 mil. Maybe, I don't know. Gear up. Look forward to game week 18, 19. All right. This is a heat of advice for most people. Game week 18, game week 19. They're going to be key game weeks. If you don't set yourselves up right for them, if you've got chips, I advise you, hold on to them till then. Okay? I'm going to go over this and touch on it a little bit more detail, probably in its own video, because it's going to be its own thing. But know this, game week 16, your wild cards will reset. So if you haven't used a wild card already, you have until game week 16 to do so. So if you're holding out, thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until a bit later in the game week, you're going to get another one on game week 17 onwards. So maybe, if you've still got it, wild card, looking for game week 18. Build your team around game week 18 with that wild card. So that's the key tip of advice, alright? And then any chips that you've got for game week 18 and 19, that's the week you want to use them. Alright, game week 19, when there's double game weeks, you want to stack that fucking field with as many people in those double game weeks as you can, and fucking get that bench boost going. Maybe rack over 100 points. That's the plan. There's many double game week players in there, especially you blokes down the bottom of the table. If you haven't used your wild card, hold it till then. Gear up towards 18. Use it before 16. So you've got 2 more weeks. This week and next week. Alright? But yeah, so that wraps up the bottom 4, I think it turned out to be, because there's a bit of an equal points or something. So, but a bit of a tough week. So, a tough week for some, very good week for others. You know, Sean killing it, top of the table, shuffling around like crazy. Whippet having another backing up good week. You know, people like Luke and Mark just sliding along steadily. Even Andrew having a solid week. You know, it's been a pretty good week for most people. Now, what I'm going to go over next is a couple of little things. So, I'm going to go with transfer of the week for this week was Luke. Luke had a solid transfer. Took out Reece James, and brought in Justin. Couldn't ask for a better transfer, right? One defender for another, sub him out. Reece James doesn't play. I think he actually gets injured. He's out for a while now. And subs in Justin, and he scores 8 points. So, well in Luke. You get a props for that one. It's a very good transfer there. So, you know, again, another solid little thing from Luke. Just under the radar, playing safe, not making much noise in the chat, but another 79 points this week. Climbing up, coming closer, just catching on up. Keep that shit up, alright? Now, the next part I'll run over is who has a good run of fixtures and who doesn't have a good run of fixtures. Just key points, like just a few of the key teams, alright? So, from what I've written down here, Man City have probably the easiest run. From game week 15 to 22, brilliant. Only one tough game in there, Chelsea. You know, and to be honest, that'll be a game that probably Man City should win, going off of the run that they have. So, my advice, if you've got the ability to, start trying to bring in some Man City players. Your Walkers, you know, your KDBs, maybe Aguero if he comes back onto the field and starts playing off the bench again. So, you know, look at getting some Man City players. Look at those results. Mahrez is a bit of a tricky one. Be careful. You know what Pep Roulette's like. You don't know which guy is going to play, which player is going to put on the field. Sterling, though, seems to be a starter every single week. So Sterling might be your guy. KDB might be your guy. Walker might be the triple up. So, yeah, keep that in mind. But, what do they got? Yeah, game week 18, they don't have a game, but they do have a double game week. I'm going to make a separate video of all the teams that do have game weeks that are doubles and singles, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, so Man City, very good run. Another good run is Spurs. They've got a very good run up to game week 20. Again, no double game week, they play the whole way through, so they don't miss a game, they just play every game week, all the way through. So Spurs, bringing in that Son and Kane might start to tick it over again, but be careful. This might, maybe watch this week with Spurs and what happens, whether their results are terrible or not, because this might be the downfall where they fall apart a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Liverpool as well, very good game run up until game week 18 where we have a blank. So Salahs, your Manes, your Robertsons, your Trents, you know, these kind of guys. Even Firmino at the moment seems to be in some decent form after having a bit of a dry spell. So there might be some punts within the Liverpool team. Jota's obviously dead, rest in peace. But Van Dijk's still dead, rest in peace. But bringing in the other guys, there's some money to be, some points to be made there, boys. Mane, okay? Hear me now. Mane, okay? I'm going to show you something. I'll tell you something anyway. This bloke, I don't think is owned by fucking hardly anyone. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place out of all the midfielders for points. 6. He's got 5 goals, 5 assists, and he just got a goal and assist this week. Okay? Mane's very much a confidence guy. As soon as shit starts going right, shit goes real fucking right. And he's got his wingman back, Trent, swinging balls to him. And with the run that Liverpool have come up, West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, Mane, alright? And he's only owned by 7% of people. 7%! for a guy that's probably going to bang in, I don't know, in this 3-week window, I'm going to put my money and say 6 goals. 6 fucking goals. He's going to get a hat-trick in one game. One of those games he'll fucking bang a hat-trick in. I'm telling you. And that will coincide with Salah too. So Mane will kick off, Salah will drop off. So, but don't jump off the bandwagon freaking out Salah's done and done, because he'll come back. And who knows, maybe we have a fucking 7-0 drubbing again, or something like that, where both of them score, where we have our front 3 score goals. So like we did this week, we had our front 3, all 3 of them score goals. That's not unusual for Liverpool. So look to gear in some Man City players, some Liverpool players, some Spurs players. Got a good little run there, alright? Another good run is the Leeds team. So if you're trying to play on the cheaper side and keep a bit of money in your bank, or you've got a full squad and you can only move around for little players, look at the Leeds squad. I'm not sure on which players exactly. I think Dallas is a good shout. There's some decent points coming out of him. Obviously, you got people like Bamfords and Clicks, stuff like that, but they're all cheap. So they're not going to be you guys that you bring in and captain and you're going to be a fucking hero, but they're going to be a solid 6 to 10 point kind of guys, just scoring points behind the scene whilst your key guys are scoring major points, alright? So look at the Leeds team, see who you can bring in. They've got a pretty good run coming up too. They've got, going forward, Burnley, West Brom, and then they run into Tottenham and then a blank. And then even after the blank, they've got like a decent 3 games too. So, but Burnley and West Brom are going to come at them and try to play through them. So that could be a good little shout. Now, don't go heavy on them because it's still Leeds, so they can still fuck it up. But, you know, like I said, a Click, a Dallas, a Bamford, not bad shouts, alright? Finally, the last team to have a good run is probably West Ham. West Ham have a very solid run coming up. You know, they've got in the next 3, 6, 7 weeks, with only the blank to ruin that, they've got a solid, decent run. Brighton next week, Southampton, Everton, Burnley, West Brom, Crystal Palace after the blank game week. So West Ham players look like could be a decent shout too. Granted, West Ham are still West Ham. They're not going to drub teams. They're not going to win every week. I don't expect them to, say, beat Everton or maybe even Southampton, but definitely put up a fight. You know, they'll get a goal or two. It's very rare for them to like end up with no goals like they did this morning. So, you know, look into the West Ham team. Get in one. I'd say just maybe one player. Souček's a good shout. Like he's done alright. What else you got here? You got Bowen. A lot of people kind of have, not even a lot of people, 5% people have Bowen. It's a good little shout too. You know, you've got Mikel Antonio if he's back fit. Those kind of guys. So West Ham, look into them. Now the teams to avoid players from, alright? Avoid. These are the bad runs. You've got Man U, they have a tough run. Alright, very tough run coming up. You got Leicester next this week, Wolves, Aston Villa, blank, Liverpool. It's 5 very tough games for Man U. They love to play on the counter attack. Wolves and Aston Villa love to hit people in transition, so that's going to be a tough game for them. We've just seen what Leicester can do to teams. And then obviously you've got Liverpool, who by this point in time should be up and firing and really in form, as long as nothing drastically bad happens. So it could be a very bad time to be a Man U team owner, alright? Fernandes, fine. Keep him. It's hard to get rid of. If anyone's going to be involved in goals, it's going to be Fernandes. So maybe keep him, but don't go. I wouldn't be moving any other players from Man U in, alright? So keep them on your like checklist. Chelsea, they've also got a tough run coming up. Now, they've got Arsenal and Aston Villa for the next 2 weeks, which is fine. Arsenal and Aston Villa should both be beaten. But then you've got Man City, a blank, a Fulham game, which will be decent in a double game week, and then Leicester. But that double game week Leicester game is going to be tough. You're going to be playing 2 games in 1 game week after coming off the game against Fulham, which you hopefully win. But Fulham, like we've noticed, have been a bit difficult to play against lately. And then you're going to be rocking up to the Leicester team. So that 17, 18, 19 is going to be a tough little window. You're going to get 2 more weeks out of Chelsea players, so don't freak out. I wouldn't be swooping them out of your team right now. But just don't make any massive moves for Chelsea players right now. That's my advice. You know, if you're like, oh, I really want to get in a Werner or something like that, just hold off. Don't drastically change your team. Don't be taking points deductions for Chelsea players. It's my advice. Aston Villa as well. They've got a very tough run. So Crystal Palace this week, tough game for them, but then follow that with Chelsea, Man U, and Tottenham, and then Everton. So they don't miss a game week. They play one game every game week. But Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham, Everton, that's 4 ridiculously hard games back to back to back to back. So it's going to be tough. Now, granted, this is where the team Aston Villa play really well against is teams that like to come out again. And as I said, hit them in transition. So a Man U, a Tottenham, and a Manchester United are susceptible to the Aston Villa kind of rebound counter-attack. And Grealish is still alive and kicking and playing decent, so a good 12 points. I wouldn't say kick him out of your team, but if you're one of those guys that's holding maybe 2 or 3 Aston Villa players, or even Martinez in goals, it's gonna be under fire. So it could be a punt, it could be keep him in goals and he saves a shitload of goals and gets you a ton of points, or it could be get him out because you want to get a safe 6 points in. Who knows? But just keep that in the back of your minds. Don't be making big waves trying to bring in Aston Villa players. Expect them to have a tough run. All right. Finally, the last guy that I would say the team that has the hardest run coming forward is Newcastle. So if you are like any of the guys that own Callum Wilson in your team, get him the fuck out. If you've watched the Newcastle game, they are trash. They shouldn't be scoring points the way that they are. So get him the fuck out of your team. If you've got any other Newcastle players, get him the fuck out. With Newcastle, they've got Man City, Liverpool, and Leicester. That's the 3 they've got. Look, they are gonna get raped, and more raped. They're gonna get fucked. All 3 of those games. So, piss them off. Newcastle are done for a few weeks, alright? So, yeah, keep that in mind, alright, boys? The final part of the week, boys, is the table. The Fox's FPL table for the week. So let's run down, go over the team, the guys that have climbed, the guys that have fallen, and where everybody's kind of sitting for the week, and get right into it. So, we have got, sitting at first place this week after a blinder is Shawnee Morris. Sitting at 862, as I mentioned, equal points with Matty Francis, so very close in the top. Third place, Tyler, 855. Slipped a little bit, Tyler. Gotta pull it back, son. Gotta get that magic. That magic you had from those first 10 game weeks where you were sitting like top 10,000 in Australia or something. Just pull it back a little bit. Now whip it up to 4th place. Had a few solid game weeks back to back to back, mate. Now you're climbing. You've pushed past me, you've pushed past bloody Brett. Now you're up to bloody 4th place and you're really closing in on the top 3. So, can you do another game week? Can you make it 4 in a row and see if you can climb into the top 2? Let's see. Big Brady boy had a bit of a okay week. It wasn't terrible. 70 points. Sitting equal points now with me, 5th and 6th, 826. So we're both, we're not off the pace by much. Just a couple of decent game weeks and a couple of slip-ups like Matty had this week and Tyler had this week, and we'll close that gap right up. So, yeah, as I mentioned, me in 6th after a decent game week. And as I said, the snake, the fucking slithering snake in 7th spot, fucking Luke DuPont himself. Getting up, man, 812. You're closing that gap to that top 6. Getting there. A couple more solid game weeks and you'll be right up there, son. Again, another one that's just quietly climbing the tables. In 8th place is Mark. Having a solid... We must have figured this shit out, man. You've started to put some game weeks together, rank into that top half of the table, so doing well. Big game week this week was Andy. Sliding all the way up to 9th place from, 11th or something? He was, 11th place, so up 2 spots this week. Again, not far off the top either. You're 793, so you're only fucking 60 odd points away. So not too far. Slipping down a spot is the Jack Bedford. Now taking that fucking punt, my friend, cost you big time, and you deserve it. All right, cheeky little bastard. So sitting 10th spot, 11th spot. Kashi, 780 points. just dropped another, what was it, 2 spots this week? You know, dropped 1 spot. Yeah. So it wasn't a bad week, 61 points, but it was also everybody else around you was scoring 80 plus, so didn't help. 12th place, Jake, your big old Millers, 772 points, so not out of the race, man. This is the game weeks where you've got to analyse and make a bit of a punt. As I said, these kind of guys from probably Jack in 10th place downwards, I want to see you gear it up for a fucking phenomenal game week, double game week 19, alright? I want to see you fucking bring in, you know, some big players, big fucking triple upset players, and captain us in something big, and playing your bench boost and fucking going full tote for it, alright? That's where you're gonna make a big lot of ground. I want to see that game week 19 blow up, alright? 13th place we got Morgan, 753 points. And then the bottom 4 stayed pretty much the same. We got Sam in 14th place at 747, Blake 736, 15th place, Corey 16th place at 710, and Reese 17th place at 649. Now Reese, I want to see another fucking good week, alright? I want to see you catch fucking Corey. I don't want to see you on the bottom anymore, alright? Get your ass up, alright? But yeah, so that's it for another game week, lads. Like I said, I'm gonna make another video through the week, basically breaking down the double game weeks, some games, key elements to have your eyes on. So just keep an eye out for that. Make sure you get your teams in. I think it's 4 days till game week deadline. So make sure you keep your eyes on that. I'll be in the chat and we'll keep an eye on it. But that's it for another week, boys. Another Foxes wrap up itself. Get ready for game week 15. It's gonna be a